I was fortunate enough to go to Savannah. And Savannah, Georgia has streets named right after the Bahamas, Market Street and what have you. And they do a lot of store work there. They used to call us Nassau's or what have you, which they didn't know the terminology wasn't Nassau's, it was Bahamian descent. But we were often called Nassau's.
So was it like a prejudicial? Did they just
I
because
really
you were?
think that they thought Bahamian descents were a little higher in their education and in their background, and they built most of the homes. Most of the homes that are built here in the Grove were built by Bahamians, and each Bahamian family had its own home. So maybe that's the culture that you're talking about, that we owned our own homes and we had our own culture differences.
Based on because what you would say that the Bahamians was educated because the British came along and they had a lot
I
of
don't know if it had anything to do with the British or what, but I know that most Bahamians were smart and referred to building their own homes, and that's how most homes were built in the Grove and owned by Bahamians. Most Bahamians built their homes in the Grove and owned them in the Grove. And they had the same style of building the homes like they had in the Bahamas.
the shotgun houses. That's what you're talking about.
Well, I'm not calling them shotgun houses because the ones that, when I grew up, although they were called shotgun houses, they weren't built like that. They were family type, one residence. They had a family room, they had the dining room, they had the kitchen, so they weren't, like that. I don't know where after shotgun houses came around. I don't know. But that wasn't the Bahamian style of building a house.
Right. Okay, another question I got that I see a lot of these people, especially in Miami, around, they get really familiar with making, the original Bahamian dish called chicken sauce or sauce, as we call it.
Mm.
And I see different variations of sauce that, that's being made. But can you tell me, how did the Bahamians actually make chicken sauce or sauce?
Okay, sauce was one of our main dishes, and it was made pig feet. It was made from pig feet and parts of the pig, and they would mix it together like a soup, and they called it sauce. After a while, the younger people started doing chicken like that, but the pig parts were the first for sauce, and most of the Bahamians knew how to make it. And then the younger people came up and they started making the chicken sauce, which was almost the same taste, only the difference was the meat, the pork, and the chicken. So, but that originated from one of the Bahamian dishes.
With that being said, what was used? What were the ingredients? Because nowadays you got people making sauce. They got all this stuff in the carrots and everything in it. But what was the ingredient of the original sauce?
In my day, the pig sauce, when I say pig sauce, the meat was coming from the pig. It was just lemon juice, the sauce meat, green peppers or red peppers, and that's how we didn't add no potatoes or anything like you saying now. That was how they made it in my day. And it was like a soup, like I said.
Right.
The chicken sauce came on later because some people couldn't eat pork, so they decided to use chicken. And the chicken sauce was made the same way that the the pork sauce was made.
So what do you think about these newer sauces that you've seen with, with all kind of stuff in it, like
they added on to it and took away some of the flavors from it, and I guess that's the way they did it. That's the American style of making the sauce.
Right. So the Bahamian way is just strictly soup and chicken, soup and eat meat and season.
Meat and, like I said, the green pepper And, that's all celery, and that's all we put in it.
Celery too?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, when we lived, I'm still living in the Grove, it was just like a big, happy family. If one person got sick, we knew about it. You knew everybody on our street, behind, front, rear, back. We just knew everybody, every family. And we all considered ourselves cousins or brothers and what have you. But we had that feeling because we were a close-knit family. When I say close-knit family, I'm talking about the people who lived in the Grove during my teenage years, or during my years living in the Grove. It was just a happy big family, that's all. We lived in a colored section. It was called Colored Town.
Right.
Okay? So if you lived in Colored Town, your skin was dark.
Right.
Okay? And I don't care how light your skin was, if you had any drop of black in your blood, you were placed in Colored Town.
And that's what the government district.
That's where the separation came in. We separated ourselves because of color of
white
our
and black.
skin.
Yeah, white and black. So white and black separated y'all back in those days.
Yes.
It didn't matter if you was Geechee,
Don't care where you
whatever.
were from.
Yeah, as long as your skin color was
you had
black.
to go to Colored Town. Okay?
Right. Yeah. So that's how y'all get thrown over here in West Grove, I guess.
I didn't really get thrown over here, but that's where we were placed.
Right.
And they had like a dividing line, like Douglas Road was the divider from Grand to, I would say, Concord. That was black.
So from Douglas Road
to Concord was the black side of that. And they had a dividing line up from Main Highway to, I guess that's Ingram Highway. That was white.
Right. And that's what separated the two.
Yeah, that's what separated us.
And y'all couldn't commingle at no time.
We couldn't what?
Commingle, like mingle together the whites and the blacks at that time.
Well, I disagree with you because where we lived on Marla Avenue was a dead-end street, and it was a separation from pine trees, palmetto trees, and have you from the white section, but yet and still some of the white young men came over, the Gullivers who owned the Gulliver School. They came over and played with my brothers. So it wasn't really separated because...
So hold on. You just lost me. Hold up. Let's go back. You're saying that you played...
I didn't play. I said my brothers played.
You're saying that your
Gullivers.
family played with the Gullivers.
Right.
And that was a family that owns the school that we know as Gulliver right now.
That's on, at that time, it was located right there on Main Avenue and Douglas Road.
So Gulliver was started by a private family?
Yes. And they often came to get my brothers to play basketball. So
the high school that we know today as Gulliver High, that was started by a family that stayed in the Grove that you knew?
Yes, the Gullivers. They started that private school. It was private school, but yet and still, they were not prejudiced. It's the difference in being prejudiced and being private.
With the Gulliver School, and I know you, like you just said, it came from, originated from a family that was, I guess, staying in the Grove and whatever. But tell me about your high school. Like, how did the blacks? Because I know you couldn't go to Coral Gables, which is the local school here now. How did you guys go to high school, and how did that go?
Okay, they separated us by school. As you know, Carver, which was called Coconut Grove Training School at the time when I went there, that was for black folks. That was located on the corner of Brooker Avenue and Grand Avenue. And they had the white school, which was for all white children. I'm talking about Dade County Public Schools. That was located on Grand Avenue. And I think that street is...
Do you know the name of the school or the white school?
It was called Coconut Grove Elementary.
Oh, okay. So that's we know it today as Coconut Grove Elementary.
Carver was called Coconut Grove Training School. That was the black school.
Okay.
And then they formulated. That's where all the black at my age level got their education.